Hi YouTube, welcome to Necro Valley's new card rant. Yes, card rant. Today I'm going to be talking about a card called Molten Convection Field. Whereas in this game, for the sake of argument, it's going to be called Sweltering Heat Transmission Field. That its OCG name. Now, the reason I'm going to be talking about this card is because of all the Laval cards that are out. Basically, this little nifty card here, is pretty much Foolish Burial on crack. Basically, what you do is you mill Laval cannon, handmaiden, 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 cannon. Make sure you've got a Rekindling in your hand and a Boost Warrior in your hand. If those three cards are in your hand, you have basically won the game. Why I say this? Because Molten Convection Field or Sweltering Heat Transmission Field is basically the card to make you win. Dump 5 fire monsters with 200 or less attack in your graveyard, dump all those cards, and special summon them all with Rekindling, and then do some synchro into a level 5, which would be Hyper Librarian. Go from Hyper Librarian to a Laval Dragoons, and then as soon as keep one handmaiden out, special summon Boost Warrior. First, you gotta draw from TG Hyper Librarian, special summon Formula Synchron, draw 2, draw 1 from Formula, and draw 1 from Librarian. You basically got your hand back, and you can do some more shenanigans. You can do another crazy summoning, but this is basically getting out shooting Quasar Dragons so quickly, you can just be like, your opponent's gonna go, what? Shooting Quasar? Yeah. So, this shooting Quasar deck is pretty much getting Laval, all your Lavals in the grave, and keeping them there. And we do have Lakeside Lady, which is another good card, which helps bring out Red Nova Dragon. Yes, this deck can bring out Red Nova Dragon. Red Nova Dragon is I think a little bit more broken than shooting Quasar because Red Nova Dragon can't be destroyed by spells, traps, or monster effects. It cannot be the target of them. And when this card, if you somehow manage to destroy this card with an attack, you pretty much beat the deck. But with this card's attack, it gains 500 points for each um, tuner monster in the graveyard. And with this deck, you will dump a lot of tuners. Um, Basically, you want to have your handmaidens in the graveyard. Handmaidens will give you the boost. And with this card, you can do it quickly. And I've seen this deck many, many times on Dueling Network. I have gone up against it. It's hard to get rid of. If you negate one of them with Dark Bribe or something like that, your opponent draws into another one. You basically just screwed yourself because you lost your outs. You lost your bluffs and you lost everything. This deck is going to be broken. This card is way too broken. It has to be limited or something because I don't know what else to say about it. But the way this card is, all I can say is it's too good. This card is way too good, especially at 3, and there's a lot of recycling, there's a lot of milling, a lot of dumping the cards in, a lot of recycling the cards. Yes, this deck is broken beyond belief, and if you want to try this deck out, I would advise you to do so, because if you see the plays I see with this deck, with Boost Warrior, Handmaiden, and Rekindling, and this Sweltering Heat Transmission Field here, you've basically won the duel if you have those 4 cards in your hand. I am not kidding. It does draw a little bit inconsistently, but if you get those 3 cards in your hand, you have won the duel. Automatically won. If your opponent somehow activates Debunk or something of that nature, that is the best way to get rid of this card. That is the best way to stop them from summoning Boost Warrior. That is the best way from getting their plays off. Needle Sealing helps. Cards like Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure does get over this deck if you manage to go into a round 2. Draw into Skill Drain. That'll help too. Basically, whatever you can to side against windups will side against this deck because this deck is your key to winning. I wouldn't suggest siding into Goes and Match because, well, Goes and Match and Rival of the Warlords will help this deck out too, going against it. So, whatever you got to go against it, I would advise you to do so. This deck can exceed quickly. This deck can synchro quickly. Just be careful when you go up against it because this deck is terrifying. I have gone up against it many times, many times, many times, and I have lost nearly every single time because this deck, everyone likes to play this in advanced unrated. If you do happen to manage to go up against it, um, basically either just quit the game right then. If you see this card come up, you've basically lost the game. If you manage to stall them out for time, do what you can. Basically, do what you can to stop this deck. This deck is unbelievably good. But this has been Necro Valley with Card Rant, signing out.